Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name's Boit, presenting Sunday Classic number 3, inspired by the great, the legend, Army Corps. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. In the right-hand corner for today's Sunday Classic, we are going to be featuring the effervescent, the ethereal, the ever-present Tunison. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Kronos, it's TheRapl. I know there's a bit of a difference in these sort of introductions, but we'll build him up later, okay? We'll build him up later. So we've got a Kronos versus Uranos game on everyone's favorite map, Blue Lagoon, to kick this one off. A spicy decision here from Rapl to go in with Kronos. Tunison does arguably get one of the best matchups you possibly can here. I think Uranos has got a lot of the advantages over Kronos. However, depending on the map, Kronos does have some angles to getting an advantage early on. So, for example, going for a quick talent center here, if he can whack these animals underneath the town center, it can be very, very tough for the Uranos player to like crack that, especially if the Kronos player goes for some early Caraballister as well. One idea would be to heroize the Oracle while you're building this up, and then you're going to whack the Zebra, herb them under here, be having them underneath the town center, and you can start eating them. It can be really, really nice. Obviously, you've also got the Kronos Rush that is available. You don't have to rush crazy like. You can do a 15 population rush, but we are not going to be seeing that. But you could. Alternatively, you just go for the kind of stock standard, is it 18 population? Yeah, you go for the 18 population advance, which is like a 330 advance. Temple shoots up really quickly, get over into your opponent's base, cause some problems. One angle here for the Uranos to just completely play around this in devastatingly efficient fashion, is to sneak a citizen up to, say, here early on. And then you can just drop a sky passage here, drop a sky passage in your main base. When the Prometheans come forward, you just say, all right, bye-bye. And then you're up here, and then regardless of if he notices you in that corner or not, he has to say, oh, I've got to run up there and kill off the sky passage, and then they can just teleport back into the main base and get back onto their hunt as well. So there's a lot of those sort of options there, as Oceanus coming through for Tunison, and we are going to be seeing Prometheus for Rapl. No spicy automaton play here from the Rapl. It's not the best versus Uranos, because Uranos can make those really, really cheap Mamilla heroes. So you want to go for something a little bit different most of the time. Nonetheless, your temple is in. Tunison has spotted it. He is advancing one villager later, it looks like, as the double Prometheans looking to take out a villager or two here. Deconstructing the temple over here as the citizens get pulled back into the town center. Just a little bit of early game harassment as the temple and sky passage now coming up. And we do indeed see Tunison going for this play. We do indeed see Tunison going for it. So he's got the sky passage at the top of the map. Whether or not Rapl spotted the citizen going up there or not, I do not know, but he's got an Oracle up there. And he's going to be able to just teleport up there, mine gold, no problems. Finishing up the giraffe as fast as he possibly can. Meanwhile, counter barracks coming through for the Rapl as he's going to be time shifting forward, putting some significant pressure on. Sniping a mana down is huge. Picking off the sentry tower as well is big, as the Oracle up here does spot the sky passage shenanigans. Meanwhile, Tunison has not seen the Oracle, so nice play from Rapl. He will be able to move up there and start dealing with that. However, Hero Mamillos will be in. There's not really a good answer for the Hero Mamillos just yet. There's also going to be a Caladria available to heal up said Hero Mamillo. As the mana goes down, he manages to snipe it. But that's also going to be for the trade of a Promethean here. As up to the top, the Promethean coming. Going to snipe some villagers and Tunison. Up. Up.
Scopus.
He thought he dealt with it. I don't know why it didn't go, but he bugged out. He did not go through the sky passage, and Tunison loses his first villager of the game. It's now Tunison moving down here for another sky passage onto the gold mine. And this sky passage will end up going out. It has just occurred to me right now that I'm pretty sure Tunison is American. Why is he Brazilian in my... I mean, maybe he's got Brazilian blood, and that's all that matters. Or else, what's going on here? Nonetheless, he's Brazilian but lives in America. Okay, we'll leave that there. Because, I mean, Rapl is Greek, but he's living in Austria or something, right? I don't know. Nonetheless, a couple of Caraballists, or a Caraballists are coming in. Now going to start pushing off this gold mine. However, Tunison is still over onto this gold. He's sneaking down here to get another sky passage and grabbing the rhino on the bottom side of the map. There's little bits of damage onto those citizens. They get pushed off of the giraffe. Rapl is just in complete control here. However, Tunison can easily bring this back. He's not dead here. He's got resources coming in all over the place. He's got a nice little sky passage coming up onto this side. So if this one goes down, he can just hop over here, get onto this, get onto these rhino and all the other good stuff. As Rapl coming over here, he will have access to a deconstruction here, which is a great way to counter this. You just deconstruct the sky passage, you kill the citizens off, no problems. Deciding not to go for it there. As the villagers are moving over here, we've got the Terma scouting down on this side. Rapl does not have this scouted out just yet. He's going to be happy about that, but all he needs to do is wander down here, and Tunison will be locked into his base here. Oh, but a cheeky citizen does get spotted. Oh, no, it doesn't. Rapl misses it. No. Rapl misses it. Now he's charging into the main base. He has to know that something is going on here. He's barely missed this little bit of black in the corner of the map. A sky passage coming up. He does manage to find it. Absolutely huge. But now that means that Rapl has to move his entire army all the way over here to this sky passage. Of which he will begrudgingly do. And this gives even more time over to Tunison to start getting himself to a point where he can get some heroes through. We do see the Terma getting sniped down as a little bit of a victory there for... A little bit of a victory there for Tunison as he's trying to just grind his way back into a respectable position in this game. Oracle gets sniped. Mamilos can now go after the main little position here as well. But sky passage will go down. Gonna try and repair it. There's not that many units here. He's thinking maybe he can pop through here and get some damage. Does decide to go for it. Terma can charge down on those Caraballista. A bit of a crucial mistake from the Rapl here, heroizing up the Caraballista as his own Terma now charging in, ready to get some kills in. Small bits of damage to come onto those Terma as they're pulling over onto this side. The Murmillos getting cleaned up. Those Caraballists are going to be doing huge damage to the Murmillo. However, Caraballista gets dropped down. Shockwave onto the army. Tunison says it's go time right here, right now. As the Terma need to take out each other. And he does manage to do so. Rapl still in a commanding position right now with his military advantage. Caraballista will turn over, snipe the citizen before that one completes. They're 2 seconds from completion. Now, RAPL to move over onto this side. He could deconstruct this sky passage, but no real point in doing that just yet. As Tunison back into his main base. He's got a little bit of food left in the giraffe. He's got a little bit of chickens left. He's also got this back hunt over here as well he can wander to. As the buildings in the main area going to be under pressure. The sky passage of Tunison does end up falling. Counter barracks up. Lots of buildings for Tunison. He is still behind on military, but he is getting closer to equilibrium here. He's also got that Caladria working hard to get everyone back to full HP. Losing military buildings on the front. Not ideal here for the TheRapl, but the TheRapl says, I've done enough damage. Let me just claim the advantage with a town center, and we'll just keep on fighting. Rather than spending everything and then just risking it all. Now there's a secondary win condition here for the TheRapl, which is just hold. He does not need to force anything anymore. His economy is going to be shooting into the stratosphere. He's in front on villages in a big way. Walls coming up over here as well. Too little, too late. No sky passages on the map right now for Tunison. To escape the Promethean Terma getting brought over to join up with the rest of the TheRapl's army here. And Tunison is playing a scared game for the time being. He has to effectively, well, now he's got the shockwave. He had to wait for the shockwave, but now he also has to wait for favor. Shockwave onto that back line, charge forward. He's got that bite of the shark in as well. TheRapl pushing forward, however. No gold income for the time being for Tunison. Whole bunch of Hero Mamillos getting converted, and he is definitely going to be in a difficult position moving forward as the Terma gets sniped. Mamillo's popping out. Tunison with 7 citizens idle in the town center for the time being. As the citizens popping through, going to move over onto some woodline, maybe make a sneak over onto the Gazelle or something. If we take a look at TheRapl's position, he's got a lot of the map scouted right now. I wouldn't mind seeing more oracles popping out all over the map. So he just gets, one, he gets favor, but also he's getting that line of sight all over the place. Great control from TheRapl there. He's going to get a sneaky little snipe there onto the Terma. Caraballas to Mamillo's coming through for the TheRapl. He's just trying to mass up that army that's going to make things happen here. Like, he's going to have such an economic advantage. The other option is to drop an armory here. A market or a market. Wait, does he have an armory? He does have an armory. Just drop it. Just go to the heroic age. Could be another option. Oracle over here getting targeted. As with TheRapl leaving his forward base to try and deal with these Terma. Tunison says, let's deal with that. But a couple of Terma going down. Sky Passage getting sniped. Oracle in for the TheRapl. Will barely miss this Sky Passage coming up, or will it? Barely misses it. However, when the citizens get onto the gold mine, TheRapl will be aware of it. I love that little cheeky play. Send one citizen into the corner. So annoying to deal with. You've got to be very hyper aware of it as the player playing against Tyrannus. Those are the little tricks that he's going to pull on you. The military buildings going down all over the place. We've got that Hyperion on the way. There's almost room for another Shockwave Carnivora combo. But is that enough to bring Tunison back from down 1.5k military resources? I'm not sure. Citizens managing to get all on top of this gold mine. And TheRapl here has to be staring at the minimap to notice that. Meanwhile, over here, we are still seeing just little bits of damage coming through. Tunison getting some kills here. This is obviously what he needs in this moment. And now, he does have that shockwave carnivora idea. Citizens turning around, getting some shanks in. There's TheRapl pulling back to try and deal with this. Splitting up his army is risky. This is what Tunison wants. If he sits back here, pulls these units back into his main base, pulls back over here, he might be able to take a fight and deal with these units. The other thing here is Tunison can sneak another citizen back around over onto this corner to try and get back onto the gold mine there. Great little shockwave to come down, trying to snipe all these units on the retreat here. As TheRapl's army sitting idle at the top, he is attacking over onto this side as the citizens retreat through the sky passage. But this time, Tunison doesn't get a sneaky sky passage back up onto the other side. But he does get a couple of kills here. Whole bunch of Murmillo now coming through. It's a significant amount of economic lead, but Tunison's got all the mobility. But it looks like TheRapl is going to be dealing with these Murmillos beautifully over here, trying to get that little ghost building in, not able to do so. More units for Tunison coming in. He sees the villages. He goes, I got to get some kills here, or at least some idle time. As TheRapl pulls back into the town center. And Tunison going for it here. Drops the carnivore down on top of the non-upgraded. No heroes over there. But Tunison can't get his Terma over there to actually deal with them. And he's overcommitted on this fight. TheRapl is defended beautifully. We do see a sky passage up to the top side now to get onto this gold mine. There's also some food here he can potentially try and grab. She's going to be baiting away from that top position there. Whole bunch of Murmillo down to the bottom here as well as TheRapl. Simple way forward here. Like we already said, heroic age, but start claiming more of the map. Walls, town center grab. Play it slow. Get yourself into an unlosable position. And then just push. Meanwhile, Tunison charging over here. TheRapl also onto this spot. Armory upgrade differential. TheRapl has the lead, but there's just too many units here. No, he doesn't have the lead. Excuse me. Tunison's got equal upgrades. So his Murmillo are much, much better because he's got that bite of the shark. However, he's getting chased after at this point as a cheeky little sky passage over onto this position as the Terma will be spotting that immediately there. As TheRapl goes, all right, we're going heroic age. Let's get our third town center. Get ourselves a little bit more population. Maybe some more villages through. No problems. As the town center completes there for Tunison. At least he'll be able to get some villages in. However, there will be chaos coming in on the next fight. Good little raid to come through for Tunison as he's desperately trying to get some damage in. Idle time will have to do for now. As Tunison gets pushed back, he has managed to get another gold mine. He's doing a fantastic job of staying alive in this game. But sometimes that's all you can do. Units charging forward. The Satyr are out. There's 5 oracles out for TheRapl. Again, I wouldn't mind seeing him even going up to something like 10 oracles at this point. No reason not to. He's got the full map control. He's got the stronger army. He can walk forward and try and grab this town center now as well. As some Terma moving out. Can look for some oracle snipes or something. Tunison has actually given away these oracles over here. And TheRapl will oblige and put that oracle out of his misery. As the Terma coming down onto this side. Palace on the way. A little bit late there from TheRapl. But with 12 seconds remaining, it should finish up here. And a chaos actually coming through from TheRapl. He says, I don't want to take a single point of economic damage at this point. I say that as the citizen dies instead of garrisoning. However, TheRapl coming in with his own Terma, sniping these bad boys down as the Mamillos to pull back. They're onto this side. TheRapl under a little bit more pressure, but there is another swarm of units coming through from TheRapl. He's got all of the beautifully powerful Murmillos here. However, it's Murmillo versus Caraballista, and there's a ton of Caraballista. A very, very important Carnivora gets dropped in there as TheRapl spreads out into multiple different directions. A great fight from Tunison. There's a Promethean Offspring spotting the Sky Passage over here. A deconstruction would not go astray, but he does choose not to drop it there. As a bunch of Hero Mamillos do get converted, they will put to rest these Promethean Offspring. TheRapl does pull those away, gets himself out a Destroyer to literally destroy the Sky Passage. Look at that damage. Every single swing of the Trident. The Sky Passage will go down. Some Terma coming over here as well to help out. And Tunison says, no worries. I just put my Sky Passage back up now. It's all good. I will just do that. It's all good. Happy days. It's the citizen turning around, shanking down the Destroyer. And TheRapl up to 235 pop. About to get Sons of the Sun. Looking to queue up Helios as well, because why not? Why go Atlas when your opponent can just go Helios? Just go Helios. It's just the better idea. It's the Terma running forward. Snipes one Caraballista. Not able to get the next one. Contarius now coming through. There's the all-important deconstruction. As the Terma can move on to both sides. Incredible control here from TheRapl. As he's getting right on top of those Caraballista. The rest of Tunison's army going to be falling here. And game one in that moment goes to TheRapl with an incredibly well executed Chronos Rush into just strangling Tunison out of this game. There was a couple of moments early game that just did not quite go Tunison's way. Losing that citizen up onto the top, that mattered a lot. But in reality, I think there was just no... I think Tunison was just that little bit too slow to get going here. You take a look at the military, and it's just he's just behind. Maybe the better call is to just advance nice and quick versus Chronos and just get into that grindy wall where you deal with everything that's getting thrown at you. But nonetheless, a well-played game from TheRapl. Takes game number one. We'll move into game number two and see if Tunison can bounce back. All right. Getting into game number two. In the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Zeus. His name is Tunison. And then, currently up 1-0 in this best of 7. It's Aces, TheRapl. The map, Ghost Lake. A incredibly well-executed game there in game number one from TheRapl. He just opened up with the early pressure, and he just never let up. Gave Tunison no chance to take advantage of his Oceanus. No chance to take advantage of his Oceanus in the slightest. And he just took that little advantage and he just ran with it for the rest of the game. But, new game. Got to think about what to do next. Some relics on the map. We've got the Armor of Achilles here. Damage vulnerability to hack -5%. Huge for both players, but Tunison would love to find that one first. Tail of Cerberus over here going to be boosting up those myth units. An idea of going Hoplite Centaur. Both those relics going to be working very well in tandem there if Tunison can grab them both. Tar's Scepter over here making those farms a bit cheaper. And finally at the top here, we've got that Hestia's Hearth, making villagers train just that little bit faster. Meanwhile, upgrades coming through for TheRapl. He is just opening with his stock standard Dwarven Armory opening. He's got double gold mines in the main base. Going to be loving that. And we'll see. I imagine he's going to go 4 city. Freya is somewhat enticing here for Thor against Zeus. But unlike Odin, when you go for this advanced time, you can get under a little bit too much pressure from an early Heracles and Jason. It can be very tough to make things work. Tunison, on the other hand, I do really like the idea of trying like the Centaur Hoplite thing. I've never tried it versus Thor, but I have tried going Hippias, opening Hippias and Centaur, and that's worked for me as well. But just the fact that there's that relic there, it entices you just that little bit more to play into it. However, I don't think Tunison has noticed that, so he hasn't noticed any of the relics actually on the right side, so he's got no idea that it's a decent option, and he will be going for Athena. As the temple coming up for TheRapl now, it's obviously going to be a very, very late advance time for him, considering he's going for all of this tech and economy here. Which does mean that Tunison gets access to all the relics on the map and the majority of the goats. This is the sort of dynamic here. The advantage that Tunison should end up with is a goat advantage. He's on 13. And over here for TheRapl, he's on 9. Not as much of a goat advantage as you might expect. Sometimes I've seen the Zeus player claiming literally every single one of the goats, except for the starting ones. Pretty brutal. At 4 city, they've got a choice now for TheRapl. Athena is in. Relics getting picked up, getting brought back home. And Tunison is going for some stock, standard Athena shenanigans. He says, let's get going. Let's fight. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go. Come on. Fight me. Minotaur wandering across the map. A Hersa spawns. That can get bolted if need be. TheRapl can easily just garrison or move back over onto the other side. He walks straight past the Hersa. Takes a couple of whacks. This is a archaic age Hersa, so not really that big of a deal here. But a second Hersa coming through and just a little bit of damage done onto this Minotaur as Tunison needs to pull back without the help of that Heracles early on. Can't really make a whole lot of stuff happen there. It's another whack onto the Minotaur. Another, getting a couple more. You don't want to be losing that one, but Jason coming forward. Couple of slaps. The rest of the units coming through. TheRapl knows what he's now facing as all the units coming in. Longhouse on the way. More Hersa coming through here for TheRapl to try and hold on. He's got the troll on the back. And this is some vintage Athena rushing action here. The troll gets bolted. Get out of here, he says. I can't deal with that. Let me try all this other stuff. As Tunison throwing away a Hersa here. Not ideal. He's losing one. Trying to snipe the Minotaur on the upside there. But good control from Tunison as TheRapl gets himself watchtowers through. That's going to be a big help to try and defend this side. We've got the wall segments in as well. Now, those do fall pretty quickly. 300 HP. And you'll see it'll explode. And I'm not sure if it kills this one or just does half HP to it. But nope, never mind. It's not attached. So it doesn't do the... It wasn't attached. So it wasn't close enough. In other words. But takes out the wall segment. Retreats back. And then TheRapl just says, no worries. Let's put another wall segment up. It does take a hefty amount of damage from that. And this is TheRapl saying, thank you. I've defended the early pressure. However, Tunison says, or should be thinking, okay, well, where to next? You finished up your boars. You're going to be finishing up on the chickens soon. Well, there's hunt up here. There's hunt over here. Does he know there's hunt at the top of the map? Yes, he does. So he's going to have to be quick to circle around there and try and deal with that. Meanwhile, Hammer of Thunder coming through for TheRapl, and he will finish up this initial couple of upgrades with a 3 villager lead, which is fairly significant. As we do have Sarissa coming through, and the first of the hoplite raids, the attempted hoplite raids coming up to the top here, as TheRapl already getting walls up, trying to get this position all sorted. One thing that Tunison should be thinking, to be honest, there's 2 things you can do when someone goes watchtowers. You can say, okay, you just spent all those resources on getting the watchtower tech. It's something like 350 resources. And then you can say, okay, well, I'll just go and get myself my town center and then just take an economic lead there. The other thing you can say is, okay, you spent those resources defending this area with your watchtower tech. All right, well, let's now attack the caribou. Let's attack this everywhere outside of the base. However, the raiding cavalry are coming through. Tunison does spot that. There's a little bit of damage onto this one. TheRapl can turn around and just take this fight, but more hoplites will be coming through here as well. Tunison should just start shanking here. But 2 hoplites in. Looks like it's going to be... Oh, I would say it's more than enough, but you have to focus fire here. Important to actually kill the unit. TheRapl pulling back. Hoplites looking to swing to the front here. And we do see the Armor of Achilles now going the wayside of Tunison. And that's going to be huge. Oh, he just misses the raiding cavalry. They high-five each other. I don't think he was on attack move. Unfortunate. But TheRapl now can kind of get up to this hunt. There's no problems here. He can just wander over here. He can wall this off, kill off the Katoskopos. And it's going to be very tough for Tunison to actually get up there and do anything. There would be a Dionysus pre-Q, but that's a ways away. The wall's coming up here as well. TheRapl playing super safe though. He should probably be on the caribou, but not happening just yet. A couple of houses coming up in this position for TheRapl as Tunison wandering in with his scary army. Mind you, this has got some big upgrades. He's got himself Sarissa and medium everything. Charges forward to try and take out the walkie. Gotta move those Toxotes nice and close to the hoplites as TheRapl snipes 1 Toxote, 2 Toxotes, 3 Toxotes before the Minotaur coming through, and TheRapl just says, all right, get me out of there. Takes a little bit of damage, but he can retreat into the healing spring and get that HP back if he wants to. The house over there goes down. The raiding cavalry making their way into the main base. And Tunison says, okay, I got to force something here. He gets himself that Labyrinth of Minnows technology in for the fight. 1 Minotaur goes down, however, early on. Restoration gets dropped. There is a significant military advantage for the time being. TheRapl gets onto the back line there with some raiding cavalry as the Thrown Axemen, however, are targeting down a Minotaur. Minotaur retreating as the hoplites cleaning a whole bunch of stuff up. Tunison trying to take out those Hersa on the back there, but not able to do so. But just running around with a Minotaur is more than enough. Jason, Heracles on top of the Thrown Axemen, trying to tank. Population differential 49 to 33. Very, very close fight here for both players as the hoplites retreating or chasing the Hersa there, attempting to, which will allow the rest of those very low HP throw an axeman to get some serious value there. The Minotaur does end up falling. And even with that restoration, can Tunison keep fighting? He's charging the hoplites in here. Going to be losing those. And now he has to start thinking about a retreat. But did he overstay on that fight? He had the advantage, but it's going to be going down the toilet as he retreats with his army here. Longhouse coming through for the TheRapl. He could try and speed walk those units, just sacrifice a hoplite or something into the raiding cavalry and then speed walk everything else away. More Minotaur coming in. TheRapl does inch out an advantage after that first fight, but it's ever so slight. The army for Tunison is still very, very strong, but no restoration now. I mean, he could just try and save up for another one. 100 favor. Market coming up. Jason, Heracles, a must. One option here for the TheRapl is to start going into trolls now, of which he is building them. Put a whole bunch of villagers onto wood. Spam the trolls out. It's going to be very, very tough to deal with that army. And you do see that there was a big difference. I totally missed that. But now Tunison has the villager lead. You have to take into account that, well, TheRapl hasn't picked off a single villager yet. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villagers coming out of the Dwarven Armory. And he's down by 6. So Tunison can just sit here and wait. This is a time thing. I think maybe TheRapl killed more stuff than Tunison did in terms of like sheer value. But the income's swapped. So Tunison just needs to wait in some regard. As the military academy getting targeted down. The Minotaurs sending a raiding cavalry into the main base over there. These guys are so sick. This TheRapl will get out of there for the time being. Game is still incredibly tense here. The gold expiring for the TheRapl. He will have to move out of his base. All the gold mines for him are on the left side here. He does have some over here, but he's not going to want to run here anytime soon. He is not going to want to run there anytime soon. Walls coming up over here for the TheRapl. As the Dwarven mine gets dropped. Longhouse going to be going down. TheRapl does say, I'm not going to leave my base just yet. Wants to just get a little bit more economy in here. A little bit more military. A little bit more snipes. Just a little snipes with the raiding cavalry. He does have the speed advantage. Picks off 2 units. Gets out of there with the life of everything else. But a Minotaur over here to help headbutt. But Tunison is not to be distracted from his task at hand. Just to try and deal with these wooden gates. He's splitting off the Minotaurs. Potentially to try and deal with these medium raiding cavalry. As these villagers moving up here, Tunison does pull them back. They get spotted ever so slightly. As the dwarves get pulled. Will be a couple of losses. No, not a couple of losses. Maybe 1 loss. Not just yet. TheRapl is playing incredibly scared. He does have those 5 trolls, which can be absolutely game-changing. However, Dionysus is on the way. Tunison shouldn't be in this spot. Right now is the time for TheRapl to engage. He's got 1,000 resource value advantage with the military. He's got the army in the right spot. Realistically, Tunison should be running. Get out of here. But it doesn't matter. He manages to almost fake it to some degree. As the heroic age is now in. Hydra comes through. Going to start getting some value onto those raiding cavalry. That's going to be a lot of pain there for the raiding cavalry. You don't want to be targeting down a Hydra. It's got so much damage. The second head comes through. Is it going to be enough? The Hydra will end up falling. But for what trade there is the big question. Tunison now in a commanding position. He's going to be able to go up to heavy infantry, heavy archers, and try and make this work. As there's the heavy infantry coming through. Peltast as well. A scary, scary unit. We've seen the Skadi pre-queued. RAPL wants it with everything he can possibly have to be going heroic age right now. The ultimate counter to bronze is that frost. As a raiding cavalry circling yet again. Charging forward. Trying to snipe a Peltas. Not able to do so. Just distracting though. As the army comes forward. Trolls getting their rocks dodged there as well before the fight commences. I think it takes something like 20 seconds to recharge. What is the recharge time? Yeah, 20 seconds. There will be more boulders to come in here, but RAPL's army with these trolls is incredibly slow. RAPL trying his hardest to do a little bit of shoot and scoop micro, but bronze is coming. The trolls are falling. Bronze gets dropped. At this point, RAPL is inside of his main base. There's a lot of damage coming from the towers, the town center, and everything else. But this army is incredibly imposing here. RAPL going to do his best to try and get this garrison micro. But look at the difference in military. It's 6.6 to 3k and dropping. As RAPL's army disintegrates. And the Greek army of Tunison proves to be too strong in game number 2. As he manages to break through the defenses of the RAPL. Unfortunately, RAPL just did not quite read the heroic age. He had two options. Either produce less units, go heroic age himself. It's probably the correct move either way. Or look to be incredibly aggressive with that army that he had. And just take a fight in the classical age. And that could have helped him continue in this game. But nonetheless, Tunison leveling the series 1-1. Let's get into game number 3. Alrighty, game number 3. Currently 1-1 in this best of 7. As we've got Tunison spawning at the top of the map. As the Hades. In the bottom of the map, we've got RAPL playing as Nuwa. As we move in. And we do have RAPL going for a very quick Qualfu onto this side, which is wild. There is a crazy move RAPL could do right now, which is right-click on that villager because he spotted it. Could have wandered over there with the Qualfu, smacked the villager off the dock, but does not go for it. Pulls the Qualfu back. There's some real big cheese that can happen on Anatolia if the players get this aggressive with their dock. Generally, the best place, the safest place to put the dock is here. This plays around all cheese. But if you go for here, or even worse, or more risky, here, well, there you go. Life gets tricky. But we do have a new Hades onto Anatolia, which should be fun. Because, like, there's just so much room for things to happen here. You got the water shenanigans. You've got needing to control and get out on the map and control this middle position. You can't just sit back, boom. Lots of opportunity for raids with the cavalry that come from what is it called? Golmang. Getting that forest protection in to hold. And all the other good stuff. We'll see what these guys are going to go for. I honestly haven't seen much of RAPL's China. Especially not on Anatolia. It can be a little bit tricky. Can be a little bit tricky to play Nuwa on the Anatolia map. But what is the plan? He's got a handful of villages over here. He's got the Qualfu having to build the silo onto this spot to get some more wood there. Did drop the creation god power. One idea is to send the creation god power and send one villager to the top and 1 villager to the right. So you use the, let me go into this. You use the creation god power at the start of the game, just here, and then you send them both ways. And then you get a dock up on both sides. Super early, and no real hits to your economy early on. Obviously, you miss out on a god power, but still, it's an idea. On the other side here, it's just going to be classic Tunison shenanigans. Oh no. Peasant versus villager. The Greek villager is way more chatty. Way too strong. TheRapl losing out there, but the Pioneer to come through. This guy does still 0.3 pierce damage a second. Can he take out the villager? 9. So 3 shots is 1 HP roughly. The dock will finish up. The peasant coming in. And it's dead. Both players have drawn first blood here. Both players have drawn first blood as the dock coming up onto this side. In the main base, there's still no temple for... Oh, he does have a temple. A temple over onto this side. TheRapl is trying to link his favored land all the way up. There he goes. He links it. Wait, does he? Is that linked? I think it is. It looks like it is. And then he's going to try and link it up onto the dock here as well. He could drop another dock here. He's going to get a huge amount of favor in. And he is going through Juannu, of which allows him to pump out food-based myth units. Only problem is he doesn't have that many fishing ships out. He needs a lot more fishing ships to make this sort of a strategy work. As the house is up, and then all of a sudden everything here is favored land and a huge boost to the economy, or at least to the favor. Hades and Nuwa is the best late game gods. Hades is definitely very good in the late game. Shadong's very good in the late game. Nuwa's pretty good. Frey's very good in the late game. There's a couple of very strong late game gods in every single faction, I think. Every single pantheon. As the Quail Food Chieftain coming through. And we will see now TheRapl connecting up to this dock here. And he's going to continue to try and link everything up. Can he do so with like a barracks? An archery range? Machine workshop? He can almost. So much spend on just expanding for favor and getting all of that income. But we'll see if it's going to be worth it or not as the Chillin comes through. Gets a little bit of damage done. Tunison reacts nicely with the Ajax. He's got himself the classical agent in now. Minotaur out. Ajax out. Chillin has to pull back. Meanwhile, TheRapl needs a couple more fishing ships over here. And he's good to go. Doesn't quite connect this machine workshop up, but he will with the military camp. And he can go into some classical age units if he wants here. He is grabbing himself that divine books. Just such an important tech. For those of you who don't know, it makes these add-ons cheaper. And with that means you can grab this specific add-on, which is basically means you get to spam units out of one building. Which means you can just wait to see what your opponent's making. And then whenever you see it, you grab the counter to it very, very quickly. So it's a great way to play. Great way to sort of deal with stuff like any sort of like random timings that might come your way. So we've got the Dow Swords. We've got the Chillin coming through. Aphrodite is queued up, which is kind of stock standard here for the Hades who wants to get that Heroic Age in. Get access to Chiron. Heroic Age Hero. As the villagers getting split up all over the place. Just breathe a little bit of fire on. Slowly taking those out there as the dock onto the top side here now going to be going, getting taken out. There is access to this heroic fleet, which could be used to try and deal with the Minotaur there. As the Chillin turns around to try and snipe the Toskopos, but it's a tough life as it's almost cleaned up here. He will be able to pull it back onto this side. There's enough units here to say, get out of here, Tunison. Get that Toskopos. Take it. Take it back home. It's now the dock for Tunison getting cleaned up. We will see a trireme coming through for Tunison as he's looking to try and make somewhat of a defense here. But he'll lose this dock at the very least. He'll probably lose this one as well as a Meng Chong comes through. However, the difference here is one player is going to be heroic age. The other player is going to be stuck in the classical age for just a little bit longer. Which does mean there's going to be Skylar and things like that, but TheRapl did get that upgrade. He did get Heroic Fleet. His archer ships are doing 3x versus myth units, which does mean he's going to deal with the free Skylar and anything else afterwards. There's a couple of villages on favor still for Tunison. As the trireme is out up here just to say, please go away. And TheRapl is looking to put some pressure on, but there will be Curse here, which effectively means this army is not as strong as it looks. TheRapl pushing forward. Headbutt comes through. One chillin' goes down. And there's the heroic age. Tunison could drop Curse now. He does decide to do so. Look at this pig. He turned a chillin' into a pig and gets a 288 pig. It's so fat. I know that happens, but I've never really taken the time to look at it. Look at him. He's gigantic. All right. That's enough of that. As the boat gets picked off over here. Skylar on the top side. Fishing ships getting pulled. To Daojian to try and deal with the Skylar here. And Tunison smartly says, all right, I can't actually fight those. Those are scary. The fishing ship's getting cleaned up. And TheRapl, he does go through Golmang. He has built a couple of Dao swordsmen. He could have gone the other way and gone for like super Dao by going the other god path, but he decides, well, I better get some cavalry in here and all the other good stuff. As Tunison says, straight to the mythic age it is. This is often the time, often the strategy on water maps, especially for the Greeks, but also for some of the other gods as well, is to just try and get that mythic age in. So do you see a Chi Wen through? Can use the special ability here to sort of protect the dock for a little bit longer as a couple of cheeky little pioneers come through, getting a little bit of damage done to the Daojian, getting that damage done as well over onto this side. Tunison is breaking through here for the time being. Do have a cheeky little Argonauts technology coming through to try and deal with the with the Chi Wen. That'll get the Argo to pop out. Sort of a rare unit. You don't get to see it all too often. It was the least built unit in all of Legacy. The least built unit in all of Legacy. As TheRapl snipes both of those trireme. Going after now the Skylar as the Argo pops out, and look at that damage coming onto the Chi Wen. Able to clean that one up very, very quickly here. However, the Skylar will also fall afterwards, most likely. Actually, maybe it won't. This guy hurts. He does 20? How much damage does he do? 30 pierce? How much does this do? 30 versus 16? Jesus, that's nearly twice the damage. That is a strong unit. Less than a Carcanos? Well, that... no, because that would have come out every time you go Hera on a water map. So... now Tunison claiming the center of the map, has his fortress up. Doesn't quite have the gold to go to the next age. Do we see a market selling? Some food has been sold already. There's Vibrant Land on the way for the TheRapl. Gonna get a huge boost to wood with that one. As the White Horse Cavalry starting to come through. He might need some siege here if he wants to think about breaking this. There's really not that many units here. And Tunison just spent 2,400 resources on the Mythic Age. As Reincarnation, I love this tech. Reincarnation, 5 of the same kind of human soldier have died. You get one of those from your temple. It's the White Horse Cav. Moving across. Sniping these villages. They're all low HP. If you could get over there and deal with it. Or not even deal with it. Like, just get some kills. It'd be huge. Tunison has not yet reacted. Now he does pull back these units here. Still going to town. The Argo down to 97 HP. The Skylar will fall as a Chiwen pops out here. As the White Horse Cavalry raids. Continuing along. Gets a couple of villages. But TheRapl really needs a lot of villager kills here. Because this Hephaestus will pop and he's going to get that Plenty Vault. And it's just going to be so big. So quickly. A huge amount of the... Not a huge amount. 3 White Horse Cavalry in that raid did end up falling as well. As TheRapl desperately trying to get some damage done. As the Chiwen wanders forward. Trying to snipe the fishing ship. Get some pretty good damage onto these fishing ships. It's a good raiding unit. As Tunison getting caught out a little bit here. Double Nemean Lions at the moment as TheRapl doesn't even have his hero building. So he's not able to get that Deuterino. What's his name? The Jiang Tia. This should be really helpful. As the hoplites charging through. Are there any fire archers? There's a handful. Well, a handful. Yes, there are a handful over here on the back. But the fortress gets cleaned up. Tunison gets to the Mythic Age. But he's got 1,000 gold left in his base. And this Mythic Age just might not have been worth it. Drops the Plenty Vault. He'll get all of his upgrades. He's going to have to break out. Get a gold mine. Or get all of his upgrades in. Get a decent army. And break out. And the thing here is for what the TheRapl can do right now. Is he can look to just plant ballets. Ballet. Forest protection. On whichever way Tunison wants to go. And just try and hold. Hold Tunison in his base. Because the armories are now up. Military Academy going down over here. Aegis shield, copper armor, bronze weapons, copper shields on the way. The siege crossbows coming through to take out the market here. As the villager ends up falling. But TheRapl isn't even waiting around here. He is being proactive. These 4 siege crossbows can just clean up houses and just cause so many problems for Tunison right now. But it looks like what TheRapl thinks is, alright, no sense in just sticking it out here. Let's go to the Mythic Age. The problem with this is now there's a huge timing for Tunison to just push out. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. He just needs to spend them. Iron weapons coming through. Sarissa on the way. Nearly full iron for Tunison. So TheRapl is going to be banking on this god power coming from Gong Gong to help him take this army out and then control. But Tunison right now, if he reads this correctly, which he might be, just needs to wander forward, drop a fortress, and then look to hold on that fortress. But there are a whole bunch of those siege crossbows, so I guess it's a little bit dangerous to even go for that. As the villagers wandering forward here. There is restoration. That's absolutely true. So the problem is that the forest, the Great Flood will bring these units underneath the ballet here. Forest protection, getting dropped. Now Tunison just needs to go, all right, let's go over onto this side. Perfect. Great decision making there from Tunison. There will be another forest protection up in 3 minutes. As the White Horse Cavalry charging in here, sniping a villager or 3 before Tunison recognizes it, and then the cavalry are going to go down as well. Upgrades coming through for the TheRapl. He's getting all of them. He's only behind Iron now. 1 tier of upgrade. He's got heavy units against the medium champion. So there is an advantage for Tunison's army at the moment. As TheRapl is trying to wait on this. Great Flood into this area is probably the way you want to go. Don't go to your base. Go upwards. Maybe, but it looks like he's going straight backwards here. The army comes through. Restoration gets dropped as the army of Tunison takes next to no damage on this one. And TheRapl has to pull. The Qinglong dropping that special ability down, but does no damage. In fact, goes down already. However, the heavy Dao Swordsman on top of those Peltast, and Vanish gets called as TheRapl realizes, oh dear, I need some upgrades. Ballet goes down. Gold mine secured. A good retreat back up onto this spot. However, TheRapl also needs his hero to deal with this Colossus and everything else. So town center coming through for the TheRapl here as well. But this is going to get spotted. Tunison grabbing the town center onto this side. There is a White Horse Cavalry there that does spot it. And TheRapl coming over here. He's got a lot of favor in the bank. He can pump out those Qinglongs here. But Tunison looking like he's more than happy to take these fights. Those Peltast are a problem, but good control here from TheRapl. Brings his Dao up to try and deal with these very, very quickly. The Fire Archers should get some significant damage done onto all of those hoplites. But after all is said and done, the Tunison army is looking still that little bit too strong. Now we've got our Li Jing, her Mythic Age hero, coming. So trying to snipe everything he possibly can. There's also going to be those Tiger Cavalry coming in, but they've got, is that 0 upgrades? Doesn't even have heavy at the moment, as Tunison may have overcommitted a little bit here, as the Qinglong does get focused down. No control on that bad boy there as it's getting cleaned up instantly. Oh, there's also the big turtle here. Zhan Wu. Going to look to take something else out as we've got another ballet coming up onto this position to grab another gold mine. Tempestuous Storm coming in, making the Pagoda, which stuns everything for 2 seconds, happen more frequently. Also making it cheaper. There's Legion going after the Colossus here. You've got to get actually quite close to it for all the arrows to hit, I believe. Up to the top side, the ballet under some serious pressure, however, as TheRapl is coming up here to try and take this fight. It's a difficult fight to take. Great control from Tunison. Still attacking the Colossus series. Just not ideal. Needs that unit for his fight over here. As the Zhan Wu goes down. Colossus will end up full. Will it? Will it end up? The Colossus is now down. Li Jing needs to get into the fight. Hoplites on this spot. Living the dream underneath these ballets for the time being, but if you get that advanced fortifications tech, they will no longer be able to stand there. They'll die so quick. As last stand, will it get through? It does not finish there. The last stand tech does not finish. As the pagoda gets dropped down, and this is where potentially RAPL can make somewhat of a comeback here, is with this guy in his army, with this Qinglong in this army, with the Tunison army underneath this forest protection. Restoration for a second time coming through for Tunison here. As RAPL is desperately trying to break through this army, but he's just not able to do so. Tunison cleaning up the ballet here. And this is looking very much like Tunison is going to be walking away with this game. And going up 2-1 in this best of 7 series. 0 gold for the RAPL. No more forest protection. Army 4k to 7.44k. Population differential very much in favor of Tunison. Zero gold income at the moment either. He's looking for a little bit of a raid over onto this side, doing everything he possibly can to pull himself back into this game. This RAPL continuing to pull back here. Town center on the top here for RAPL, going to be going down as well. As the Li Jing gets a huge pagoda, and the Qinglong gets a pretty kind of decent special attack onto those hoplites there. Meanwhile, Qinglong looking for potential villager raids here. I like that move as well. RAPL desperately trying to hold on. More Qinglong coming through. The population differential is absolutely stark. Town center falls over here. Qinglong sniping villagers left, right, and center. Does not have that special ability just yet to drop down on top of all the villagers as the fortress will come up. The heroes coming over here to say, get out of here, dragon. It's now Tunison to come over and grab the settlement. Dao swordsman going down as well. It's the main base here. 3 dragons and a dream for the RAPL to try and bring this one back, but he does say, no, that's going to be it. The old restoration to counter the Mythic Age god, the god power for the Mythic Age trick. The oldest trick in the book from Tunison. I think the RAPL should have stuck it out in the Heroic Age here. He had all the opportunity to plant ballets all over the place, get a huge powerhouse army of White Horse cavalry, Dao, fire archers, town centers mustered. And I don't think if he gets full bronze, I don't think that full iron army off of one town center is going to beat a couple ballets at all. But RAPL wanted the Mythic Age, and he was said, no, you shall stay. You should have stayed in the Heroic Age. Tunison manages to break out, gets the dub, up 2-1 now. We're moving to game number 4. Hope you guys are having an incredible time hanging out with me for Sunday Classic number 3. I'm having a fun time watching these games, and we'll see how they're going to go as we get into game number 4. As we move into game... As we move into game number 4, in the left-hand corner of the map, RAPL does pick the Poseidon, and we've got the Isis for Tunison, and we are on the map Mirage. Mirage. Some of you guys who are watching way back, about a year ago, will remember this map. Some of you guys will remember this map. This map was featured quite heavily in the Red Bull Wallow tournament for Age Mythology Retold on release. A lot of the games were played on this one. A lot of fun games here. Also featuring the classic RAPL versus Recon game. If you guys don't remember it, go and check it out. Where RAPL went for a Ragnarok and learned the hard lesson Ragnarok is not Ragnarok of old. But nonetheless, completely different matchup here. We've got Poseidon, we've got Isis, and both players are going to be opening up with some early fishing ships to get themselves going nice and early in this one. There's a beautiful second town center over here for Tunison. He's got Hunt, he's got Lion, he's got a gold mine. Now, also, a little bit of history here. Tiniest bits of history. About a month ago, 2 months ago, I'm not exactly sure of the timeline. I can't remember. A lot of the top level players were saying Isis best god in the game. Just best god in the game. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're going to win every single game with Isis or whatnot. It just means that, you know, that's the god that if you want to pick it, if you want to have the best chance of winning, you're probably going to pick Isis, right? That's the shtick as far as I'm concerned. Magic came along. I Am Magic. Had a lot of incredibly strong tournament performances through Retold. And he said, no, I don't believe you. Prove it to me. Tunison went into a war with Magic. And I don't know how many games he played. But I think Tunison won like something crazy like 6-1. Or something like that. So Tunison knows this matchup inside and out. He's really, really good at it. However, TheRapl is an insanely good Greek player. In my opinion, he is probably top 3 Greek player in the world right now with, you know, Mr. and Recon in that conversation as well. So he's going to have all the ideas up his back sleeve to try and deal with this Isis, try and survive against this Isis. I'll try and talk you through what I think is the way to go, but it's going to be a challenging one as Tunison already pre-queuing up the Anubis here. Doesn't even care about this villager that's getting trained. He just wants the advance time. He doesn't have a temple just yet, so it doesn't matter, but still, we'll see how things are going to go as the temple coming through for Tunison now, and it will be Hermes for TheRapl. No surprises there. You could do some funky stuff on this map. Now, unlike a normal land map where you might not be able to do Ares and make Cyclops work all too well against the Isis shenanigans, on Mirage, given that you got the bonus 9 fishing spots here, it makes some sense to go Cyclops. Why? Well, that boosted food gets sunk into Cyclops. Your opponent's boosted food gets sunk into Spearmen, of which the Cyclops hard counter. Now, obviously, there's going to be priests, but if your opponent's spending favor on priests, then they're wasting, well, they're spending favor on, or spending gold on priests. They're using their gold, and they're going to be having some difficult times there as well. But we'll see how things are going to go. We've got the purse scene coming through for Tunison. On the other side here for TheRapl. He hasn't got the purse scene just yet. It's looking like he's going straight for a town center. Oh, he's going for the middle town center. This is really, really dangerous. This town center on the back is perfect. He's got a back gold mine. He's got this hunt over here. Whereas this town center here for TheRapl, of which doesn't get spotted. So TheRapl gets away with it a little bit. Doesn't really have a whole lot on it. Doesn't secure anything. And it brings TheRapl closer to the Isis, which is scary. As Tunison is just dropping 3 barracks, and he is going to be ready to spam some spearmen out here. As the Anubite charging around. Got to be careful with that one. If it gets caught out by an Atalanta, it will get picked off. Yeah, Tunison isn't even messing around here. I'm surprised he didn't bring the Pharaoh over to empower this, but he's building barracks with 4 villages. For those of you, like, my opinion of this is every extra villager you put on here is like a 30% of a villager. Like this villager works at 1 villager. Then this next villager is working at like 30%. So you got 1.3, 1.6, 1.9 villagers. So I just put 1 on each of them and put the Pharaoh to empower. And that's like the fastest way, the most efficient way to get those barracks up and going. But the spearmen coming through. Tunison does know that the town center is up in the middle of the map. The Anubite circling around to the side here. Some walls coming through here as well. As the Atalanta to come through. And you've kind of got to leave this one in your base. That's one thing against ISIS is like you've kind of got to leave the Atalanta in your base so that you can hunt down the Anubite. Or you've got to be really active with Pegasus. But we do have Dionysus pre-queued here for the TheRapl. He wants a heroic age. He wants access to Hypaspist to deal with those spearmen coming through. He's got some archery range, market, archery range coming up as well. Okay, second vill is 60%, and then after it's every 30%. Okay, well, whatever. It is what it is. I'm close, I guessed, as the center does spot a cheeky little Anubite over here. He's going to get a couple of shots off. Gets that jump in, and then the Atalanta's there as well to chase down. Anubite will have another jump soon. But it looks like TheRapl will get a shot off, and the Anubite will end up falling there. Obelisks coming up all over the place, and Spearman looking down onto the left side of the map for a little something to go after. As Nephthys coming through now for Tunison. No surprises there. Stable to come up. Another stable to come up. I wouldn't be surprised here if Tunison just drops like double siege works and just makes like 4 siege towers and says, all right, let's go. Of which TheRapl will have ceasefire, mind you. But he will have to bail on the town center and just take the villagers, take the militia, try and just defend inside of his base against this crazy big all-in that's coming for him. Couple of villagers onto the top here. TheRapl needs to be careful with this. Tunison does spot it, and that's going to be a couple of dead villagers. Lion's getting some damage, and we've got the centaur to come through. It manages to get 1 villager back to safety there. It's the priest healing. Priest out healing the Theseus here. Can he heal this one up as well? No. Yes. Keeps all the spearmen alive. Great control there from Tunison as a forward Migdol stronghold coming through. And TheRapl has to know he's playing against a 1 town center ISIS here. Now, for me, whenever I'm playing against really, really strong competition, I am more than likely going to respect an all-in like this and just say, okay, I will take the advantage that I got off of this town center. And I'm just going to bail. I've got the villager lead. I'm playing Poseidon here, so I'm going to get a whole bunch of militia, so it's fine. But I've got the villager lead. Let's just keep all the villagers alive, pull back, sit in our main base, try and mass up an army, and just sort of wait a little bit before we push out. So there's the siege works now coming through. And TheRapl now going up for Thracian horses. Does he have Spirited Charge? No, he does not. But he's still got so much time here. TheRapl's got to be disciplined not to click ceasefire in this game as well. Is this opened? Oh, there's an opening over here as well. Does TheRapl know about that? He doesn't. He's got to be careful here. He's got to be so careful here. If he leaves that open, he's going to get hit on this gold mine, and he might tilt off the face of the planet. But he does spot it. He spots it. Does he spot it in the nick of time, though? Answer, yes. Yes. He's got to click the middle wall, though. He's got to click the middle wall. The spearmen just barely get through. 1 villager snipe. Not the end of the world, but could have been avoided with just a little bit better control from TheRapl there as the siege tower comes forward. Too much pressure for the time being. the pacifists to come over here and deal with this. The villagers got to get back over here and get that wall up. We'll be able to do so. Militia's going down. You want to try and keep as many of those as you possibly can alive. They are free resources at this point. Scorpion Men going down here as well. No, not going down. Survives with 34 HP. Can heal that one back up. No, it will go down. Never mind. RAPL takes no prisoners. This RAPL's town center about to fall. But doesn't matter. Plague of Serpents getting dropped. Will RAPL respect it and just say, okay, have it, no problems. I'll take the militia. It's fine. Or not. Peltast are in. There's no upgrades on the Peltast, so they've only got 18 range. That's the 19 range Chariot Archers. So Tunison can space for the time being with some good micro. But RAPL managed to kill the siege tower. He's able to stay alive here for just a little bit longer against this all-in. It's kind of looking like he's making it work here. In the main base, however, a huge raid happening. RAPL not paying attention to this one. Too much chaos on the front here. Idle villagers left, right, and center. There's a couple of Prodromus now popping out to try and deal with those Camel Riders. But Camel Riders do pretty good against the Prodromus as well. As RAPL pops through, take out the Chariot Archers. This Spearman finally going down. RAPL's got to just get his economy in gear. He was in a fantastic position, but the pressure just mounted too much. Hoplites coming through. Chariot Archers getting sniped. There's still room for a ceasefire, but that means Ancestors is going to be coming soon. It's only a 30-second reprieval here. Tunison does send a couple of Camel Riders over onto this spot. RAPL still focusing on this front. He is up 10 villagers still. Ancestors getting dropped onto the army. Bronze coming through here for RAPL. He gets the militia in to help out with the fight. But there's just so many more units for the ISIS. A random villager in the main base over here as well. What is he doing there as the army gets demolished? The camel riders all getting cleaned up over there. But Tunison looks to be in too much of an advantageous position as he claims the victory in game number 4 with an incredibly powerful all-in one town center, all in here. Siege Tower, Camel Rider, Spearman, Chariot Archer, the works. I think RAPL had this. It was going so well for him. But he just needed to sack the town center. It was going so well for him. He had such a crazy good villager lead. He was up to 61 to 43. That's enough. Just leave. Pull back. Get your fortress set up. Play defense. That's the aim of the game here. Your opponent's 1 TC all in. You got to play defense. Can't hold everything. Got to give just a little bit. But unfortunately, RAPL can't make it happen here. Tunison gets the dub. It is a best of 7. So we'll see game number 5 shortly. Stick around. Alrighty, we're up to game number 5 here. Tunison has found himself an incredibly advantageous position here. He is 1 win away from claiming Sunday Classic number 3. There's no other Sunday Classic number 3. I mean, except for if we ever do another Sunday Classic. Oh, these villagers are moonwalking. Let me see if I can fix them quickly. Are they fixed? They kind of look fixed. All right. So yeah, it's big ego points, big ego points on the line right now, as well as 100 smackaroonies, which is the official Age of Mythology currency apparently, because I said so. Anyways. RAPL is on his pride and joy. He is on his Odin. Tunison. I was saying beforehand, he is from the beginning of time an Oranos main. However, his Loki stonks. His Loki does indeed stonk. I've seen him win games I never thought would be possible. And lose games I'd never thought would be possible as well. So it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Over on the left-hand corner of the map, we've got the system of Bast here. Food, wood, gold cost, minus 15%. Over on this side, we've got the Demeter's Throne. Going to be making those house mana dedicated drop sites a little bit cheaper. Over here, we've got that Gambantine Odin's Wand making the temples a little bit cheaper to research things. Chariot of Sybil here. An absolutely goated relic. 2 golden lions to join for free. And 9 cauldrons here, making the Huskal in this game for both players a little bit more bulky. Now, the interesting thing about this matchup is that Odin has got to set the pace. Odin sets the pace because he's got the Great Hunt. He's got the bonus food income. So he's going to want to get out on the map. He's going to want to go put pressure onto his opponent and see what he can do. But Tunison, being the type of guy that Tunison is, he says, screw it. I'm coming into the center of the map. And I'm going to be the one putting the pressure. And I'm going to be the one going Heimdall. And what are you going to do about it, TheRapl? Because this flips the script completely. Because what Tunison can do, if TheRapl is unaware, is he can deny the early military buildings for quite some time with Undermine. And also kill some towers. So what Tunison's done is he spied the dwarf. And now if TheRapl wants to do the natural thing, which is protect his gold mine with buildings, that will be very easily spotted. It'll be very difficult for TheRapl to get those buildings up over here. Now, the next question is, does TheRapl spot this? Answer is yes, he sees the temple fort. He's got to know there's going to be some sort of Heimdall shenanigans coming for himself. And we'll see what his plan is here. With the buildings, where is he going to place them? Will Tunison spot it? He does get the Heimdall nice and early. So he's going to be able to get those buildings down. I imagine it's going to be a barracks, or a longhouse, I should say. He's going to go for some throw-in action, some more Herser. The weakness, the big weakness, I should say, as we do see, look at this here from TheRapl. I love this. Over into the corner of the map with the Berserk, going to try and hide everything. He drops a longhouse here and a great hall on the back. This is the weakness of a forward temple. A forward temple Heimdall as well, as there's the Undermine. The weakness is the Valkyrie can simply put, as he takes, wow, she's taking way too much damage there. She can simply put, just run into the opponent's base and cause mayhem. But Tunison, he's ready to go. He's got all the units out in the world. These villagers here, these dwarves here are going to be under a lot of pressure. As one villager already down, TheRapl turns, starting to shank. Into the main base, however, the Valkyrie comes. He's going to try and distract, but Tunison is there watching. The Ironry does end up falling. The first blood is drawn as TheRapl gets out with his Valkyrie. Doesn't get any significant damage done. Tunison's got the one Herser in his base there to defend, playing a really, really high level Heimdall rush thus far. These villagers just need to get out of here. They don't belong on this wood line. They're in too much danger. Back wood line over here. Villagers sneaking over onto this hunt for the time being. There is a great hunt as well that TheRapl has in the back of his pocket. There's the Valkyrie. Herser coming through. Dwarf getting targeted. Doesn't end up falling. Herser onto the back line. Valkyrie here as well, but the Herser get pulled. Valkyrie immediately retreating. Great control from TheRapl as Tunison needs to get his Herso back into the fight here. Herdman does go down, but not before the raiding cavalry falls as the Valkyrie comes through, pokes one of those thrown axemen before retreating yet again. And Rapl manages to win that early fight as the Heimdall rush seems to have withered out. Another Einherjar to come through, though. It's not over just yet. These Norse wars can be so ridiculously volatile. But here's the thing for TheRapl. He's got the favor for another Valkyrie. He can heal his Valkyrie back up to full HP. But he's going to look for another movement into the middle of the map. There's gatherers here. Rappel's got to be careful with these raiding cavalry. He's running them straight through the main base here of Tunison. He spots the longhouse. He spots the thrown axeman. He spots the Herso. He's trying to bait the Herso to chase or something. He will spot these villagers in the center of the map, grabbing those water buffalo. But realistically, with a 46 HP Valkyrie, what can you really get done here apart from just distracting? Still no secondary Valkyrie out, however, as the pigs getting sent home. And Rapl searching. Rotates around the top. Herso garrisoning through the sentry tower. So TheRapl has now managed to find safety outside of this position. He could come back over here and try and pick villages on this side. He's still sitting inside of his base here. Pumping units. It's still close. You have to also remember that not only does the Heimdall here have somewhat of a bonus with the Einherjar special, as Rapl is desperately trying to keep his units alive here, but also he's got that bonus damage with the thrown axeman. As these raiding cavalry coming through, they do get greeted there. Rapl not really going to mind taking a little bit of damage, snipe one villager and pull out as some revenge there as the villager differential has been equalized. The raiding cavalry over here do get caught out yet again, or prevented from any attacks just then. As Tunison is doing a great job of just defending thus far. Meanwhile, into the main base, however, a troll spawn, huge damage there. As the thrown axeman turning around, we'll be able to snipe down that Herso beautifully as the troll will end up falling to the Valkyrie there. But Rapl still trying to get something to happen over here. There's not much he can do. This Valkyrie almost going to go down. The thrown axeman over here also pulling back, trying to heal everything up. The Valkyrie gets pulled. Villagers getting brought into the fight here. As Rapl is trying to heal everything over there. A forward longhouse comes down. The gold villagers need to pull off that gold mine. He does have a gold mine over here he can go to and just drop those villagers over onto berries or something like that. As the raiding cavalry still searching for little snipes. He does find a thrown axeman. Going to kill that one there. As the chaos multitasking and everything else that you could know and love about a cheeky little Norse war is exactly what is being delivered in this game. It's a longhouse going over here. This ox cart doesn't come to the gold mine just yet. It's the raiding cavalry coming back. He just needs to heal up the Valkyrie. If he has full HP Valkyrie, this game could be, or this next fight could be so volatile for Tunison. So raiding cavalry leaving out here. Tunison doesn't have himself this technology. Eyes in the forest. He misses so much vision with this. As a raiding cavalry coming through, looking for these Herso. He will spot them. Chasing them down. That's going to be 3 dead Herso there. As the thrown axeman, Einherjar, wandering over to the gold mine. These villagers are spied. Does Rapl see it? Yes, he does. And he pulls beautifully away, but a lot of idle time getting forced as a raiding cavalry now looking for villagers in the main base here. Tunison pulling as well, but a little bit on the late side there. He will lose 1 or 2 villagers going into the town center. As the villagers can return back onto the gold mine in the main base. Differential in army is in favor of Tunison. He has 4 giant killer ironry at the moment. Searching around for anything to take out. He's going after the villagers underneath the town center here. Trying to garrison them. We'll lose 1. For those of you who are a little confused there, villagers used to have a like 3 or 4 range to garrison into a town center. They would have normally, before they would have gotten out of there, but now they don't have that. They have a 1 range. They have to be attached to the town center. As the herdman coming through, Rapple notices, pulls back. Longhouse getting taken out here, but Rapple eyes on everything for the moment here as he's going to pull around this side. Will he spot the villagers on this gold mine? Answer is, it does not look like it. It looks like he's trying to pull back home here as the Valkyrie coming up onto this side to join up with the raiding cavalry. He can take out Herdman with those as well. As he's searching, he barely misses this as well. On the other side, Tunison will get a glimpse of the raiding cavalry coming through this way as they're riding straight for the main base here. Villagers on berries, villagers on wood lines. So all the villagers forced to be idle for a little bit. This is such a win for the TheRapl here. He will lose a raiding cavalry, though. Almost loses a raiding cavalry, trying to take out the town center here as the thrown axeman coming around onto this side. He is searching for villagers, or he sees the villagers on the gold. A couple of herdmen are in, and Herser as well. Can TheRapl hold? He's got Sesh Rumney. He's now got the Goatee in. He can't take this fight. He needs his raiding cavalry. He's gotten Tunison out of position. He just needs to pull his raiding cavalry back, and he's going to be okay here. Tunison is so out of position here. If TheRapl can get this pincer maneuver at this point, bait in, it should be a 1 fight for the TheRapl here. He's getting the Valkyrie. He's getting more Goatee. Charges in with the raiding cavalry up here. Going to snipe a couple of thrown axemen, but Tunison is too quick. He charges forward with the Herser and the Herdman at the top. Raiding cavalry out of position. The Goatee sniping beautifully here. Those ironry. Thrown axemen don't get any bonus damage first. The Goatees, so they're an incredibly good tank. Valkyrie's getting targeted down by Herser here as well. Ironry's getting those mini flaming weapons off as the army slowly dissipating for TheRapl. He has to pull back a little bit. The Valkyrie over here goes down. There's a very slight military advantage. Just over 1,000 resources here. Raiding cavalry coming through. More Valkyrie, however. There's only 3 Herser. So 2 Valkyrie here. 3 Valkyrie here could be the difference maker. Villagers getting pulled off the gold mine. Yet again, he's got to snipe those Herser. Great control from Tunison, however, to snipe the first Valkyrie. A troll spawns as the Goatee immediately targeting down, but this big boulder comes through. This TheRapl trying to make this work. Valkyrie charges forward. Does get sniped. But at the moment, it's 42 villages apiece. The differential in military is equal. The game could not be more back and forth at this point. Great haul coming up for the TheRapl. Tunison pulling up to drop another great haul here. And realistically here, Tunison actually needs raiding cavalry to break through these Goatee. It's a great idea from the TheRapl. But he's now stuck in his base. He does have these Valkyrie. He can send those off and try and raid yet again. He can start those raids back up. Tunison getting up more great hauls. Does he have Sesh Rumnir? Not Sesh Rumnir, Rikstula. He does have Rikstula, so he's producing villages really, really quickly here in this game. As TheRapl wanders forward, sniping a water buffalo. Looking to get a little bit more favor in for more Valkyrie. But Tunison, he's got other ideas. He's looking to catch out these Valkyrie, but they're going to be leaving, it looks like. But TheRapl's got to be careful here. The villagers out of position, but pulling into a defensive spot. Does not look like TheRapl will get anything, but does cause idle time. It's always worth it. Just going to round up to the top side here. The villagers on the top also idled. This is exactly what TheRapl needs with these raids. He's going to get caught out over here. He's got to pull back a different way, almost losing a raiding cavalry, but he gets out of there. A couple of raiding cavalry causing some problems up here, harassing a longhouse. Going to take a long time to take that out, though. And it is dangerous as TheRapl pushes forward. Snipes one. Snipes two. Does either player have an armory? Neither player has an armory. Armory upgrades right now would be so key moving forward in this game. And look at this from TheRapl. He's just out in the middle of nowhere with those villagers, but Tunison has no idea. And how many Einherry are out? There's 2 Einherry to get those big yellow horn. What do you call it? Horn blasts out. And now TheRapl trying to break out of his containment here. A Great Hall is a big pick here as well. The army for both players looking incredibly potent as they're eyeing off each other. Getting a good engagement here is going to be everything. The Goatee getting pulled out off to the side. Raiding cavalry coming in. Goatee on the front, sniping those giant killer Einherry. The horns blowing, but they overlap each other, so it's not an amazing amount of help there. The Throw and Axeman coming forward. Another Einherry to come through to help out even more. Population is equal. Military differential is equal. But it looks like TheRapl, after all is said and done, pulls ahead. And now Tunison realizes he's got to get out of there. And TheRapl breaks through. As Tunison's Throw and Axemen start the kiting of their life, but these raiding cavalry are absolutely gigantic. And in one foul swoop, TheRapl manages to take this game. I mean, this is a Norse war. For 18 minutes and 51 seconds, we're waiting for something to be tipped. Tunison had advantage after advantage, but could not convert. Every fight, not enough to find the dub. TheRapl hung in there. And then whatever happened on this fight, you just don't even know. I think if Tunison had used that horn blast, one after the other, he had 3, one after the other, he might have been able to actually win that fight. But in using them all at once, they don't overlap. They just extend. So if they all use one together, they're going to extend up to the last one finishes the horn. So it's going to be maybe 6 seconds instead of 5 seconds of midi flaming weapons, where you could have gotten 15 seconds of midi flaming weapons. But a well-played game here from TheRapl, which means we go on to game number 6. Alrighty, we are back with game number 6. You add 3 to 2, that gets 5. That means it's game 6. In the left-hand corner, we got Tunison playing as Fushi. In the right-hand corner, we have TheRapl playing as Shenong. And we are on the map step. Stepping into it. Now, well, Tunison is 1 win away from, obviously, claiming the Sunday Classic 3 trophy. of which is a healthy 100 smackaroonies. But we'll see how things are going to go here. Fushik has some advantages in this map, in this matchup. Shenong also has some advantages in this matchup. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, Fushi has Neja. The boy. The kid. He has the kid. And he can use the kid to take out the advantage which Shenong has, which is free myth units. Both players have access to the incredibly powerful Chi Yo, classical age god, which has got lightning weapons, Yatsu, as well as super halberdier. So I expect to see them both going that way. There is a world where RAPL chooses to go for How To, but realistically speaking, it's probably not the best idea. He can play an incredibly aggressive one town center game here as well, versus like a Fushi 2TC and try and make that work. That can be good. And all the other good stuff. My stuff is, my eyes is a little bit funky at the moment, so you have to forgive me. As we'll see exactly what's going to happen, but we do have a very stock standard Chiol. No surprises from RAPL. There is an option for Tunison as well to go for Zhen Nu here, which is another pick for Fushi, which can work. You get access to like, you can play a very defensive game, utilize the reincarnation tech, drop vanish against lightning weapons to play around that, and then after that finishes, pop out and take a fight, an advantageous fight, or something like that. But both players are going to go for that Chio. I'm not surprised here. It does make the most sense. Lots of villagers onto wood and gold. Are we going to be seeing a far second town center? It looks like that's most likely going to be the case. Though, it's probably, I mean, it's in your best interest, I think, to build some units here if you're Shenong. Because you have to get through the Najar. How do you get through the Najar? Well, Pioneers don't really cut it. We've got those Yatsu that can run around and cause distractions and everything else. But you probably actually need some Dao out if you're going to be able to deal with that one. Dao Swordsmen are pretty decent against the Najar. Maybe Fire Archers, but they don't do a huge amount of damage. There's the Yatsu. Moving across here. Does get spotted. And, whoop. Gonna jump out of there. Head back home. You can also heal these bad boys back up, so it's not the biggest of deals if he just pops up here. Gonna be grabbing another Yatsu for the time being. I've got to be so careful with these guys. They have a mind of their own sometimes. They're not really a mind of their own. They just you just have to be careful. Meanwhile, in the main base, you do already have the Imperial Academy out, and the kid is born. But now 3 Yatsu through. Does RAPL have the upgrade? No upgrade just yet. He's going to need that one. While it doesn't, it's not as crazy OP as it was. It's still a really, really important tech because it boosts up the damage considerably. As the Yatsu going to try and sneak out here. RAPL kind of trying to go right across the map. And he will get spotted here. And RAPL does notice or does see the Sky Lantern. And he's just trying to find some way in as more and more Pioneer coming through. As RAPL getting into the main base here. These villagers out in the open. As the Yatsu going to be able to dive in onto them. Will he get a kill is the question. No. He misses on that one. Good garrison there as the Yatsu to pull back. Question is it talented time now for the RAPL? It's looking like it might be. He's got Tunison in a bit of a bind here as 5.3 speed Yatsu is more than enough to just sort of dance around for a little bit here. As the Pioneers trying to chase them down. Getting a couple of little points of damage here. He will have that jump away yet again if he wants to. And now he says, all right, time for the town center. Going to grab this one up here. There is a random Yahtzer up here from Tunison as well. As Rage of the Slaughter coming through as well for the TheRapl, as the Yahtzer will be spotting the town center. But so too, over here, does Tunison go for his own second town center. So both players in a fine spot. The Yahtzer goes down. TheRapl sneaking through, finds the only way past the defenses here. Splitting up these Yahtzer as well, as there's going to be the Pioneers coming over here. Yahtzer's onto one food line. Hitting villagers left, right, and center. First blood drawn as one villager goes down. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the Najjar coming through. That's a huge amount of damage potential to come onto this spot. But the town center will be completed as another villager getting sniped down. But TheRapl says, I don't want to lose the Najjar being silly here. Let me get out. Yahtzer coming back in a big dive forward. Takes a huge amount of damage onto that one. We'll have to pull back. There is also the Najjar in hot pursuit trying to catch these Yahtzer out. But TheRapl has kept his Yahtzer alive. Going to pull back into his main base. Heal those up. Some farms coming up as well. Can drop the prosperous seeds in there. No problems. Get him some more food income. There's a one villager lead at the moment, but there is still the Peach Blossom Springs for Tunison here. As the Yahtzer to come through, but the Pioneers happily just going to sit here and say, not today. We've got just a little pause in the proceedings here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I know Tunison was having just a little bit of problems with his internet before, so hopefully that is resolved. I don't have any messages from these guys, so hopefully they can resolve it themselves. Siegfried, all good, my dude. No worries. Hope you enjoy hanging out. No hard feelings. Have you ever zoomed in on this? Let's pause. Not sure what's going on there. Okay, off to the races again. As the game to continue along. Yeah, tactical pause. Exactly. A tactical pause. Walls coming up onto this side now for Tunison to lock this all off. The Yahtzer will be able to find its way in onto some villages over here. Tunison, does he get to the tower? No, he does not. Loses another villager there. This one Yahtzer can find a lot more value. Just trying to get through, but it's finding its way in. Good control from Tunison to keep everything alive. Does manage to circle in onto the Yahtzer here. It doesn't have its special up. And it dives over here. And it gets sniped by the town center. That's a big win there for Tunison at this point. Tunison's got himself so much favor in the bank. I'm surprised he's not making any myth units thus far. There's no problem with building some Yahtzer out to defend against the Yahtzer as well, right? Now Tunison's spreading out the houses to get himself just a little bit more favor income. My take on this is I prefer to get my buildings to block in my base, just like every other civ, and then utilize things like the ballet or the military academy or whatever it's called. There isn't any up, so I can't even check a market. I prefer to do that first and foremost, and then get my favor later, basically. As we do have it, there goes the military camp on the way. As the Qualfu getting caught out, a Baihu spawning. TheRapl getting some good trades over here, sniping down the Pioneer. This Najjar, such a problem though, but while underneath the town center, he's got that ability to defend. A couple more military camps to come through. As the Baihu over here does end up going down. Almost finishing off with that Najar there, but all of the pioneers to garrison away as the Sky Lanterns get sent forth. Villagers going to start getting harassed as the Yards are just sitting over here waiting, watching. Rapple with the garrison micro attempts here. This does not have enough units just yet to deal with this, but now with the Heroic Age, he's got a little bit of an advantage on the units, gets himself out of Dow Swordsman. Over onto this side, the Yards are sneaking through. They spot a Quaofu. Going to go after that one there. Getting a little bit of HP back. 8 HP and attack there. As Willie finished this one off. Answer is maybe, but for the cost of a Yartza there. It's not a terrible trade for one, but losing both, not ideal. Nice play from Tunison as the Yartzas have now been dealt with. However, Rapple, Heroic Age through Rushol. Tunison, Heroic Age through Golmang. Meaning we've got one player who's got super infantry, and we've got another player going for super cavalry. Now the Pioneer wander forward, but Rapple starting to pump out his Dow. The problem with Dow here is that Tunison, he can start running Rapple into the ground. 6.6 speed White Horse Cavalry. You don't have to go too heavy onto them, but just building like 10, 15 and looking for raids can be so difficult to deal with these 3.8 speed Dow Swordsmen. These guys are, it's kind of like a men-at-arms versus a knight, if you understand that reference. One way to play around it is to just get walls up everywhere, lock in your base, make sure that these units can't really get a whole lot. Get out the Halberdier with this technology as well, Master of Weaponry. That can be enough to sort of shut down those White Horse Cavalry raids as well. As Rapple wandering forward now, ready to look for a little something. Tunison, however, he is already up to the Mythic Age. He grabs that Peach Blossom Spring, clicks advance, looking for the raids over here. Villagers do have themselves the Shenong farm here, which can help keep these villagers alive. He's not paying attention to it for the time being. There is a barrel layup, a second one coming through as well. A couple more Dow Swordsmen coming up to the top. Like I said, these are not the best against the White Horse Cavalry, but a Baihu, that will be enough. And now Rapple says, hey, if you're not going to fight me, I will go after your main town center. I don't mind. Tunison is going to the Mythic Age through this town center. Going to be trying to clean up the watchtower here. But does Rapple know this? He's got to have some inkling. He's got so many more units out than Tunison does here. Charging back in to kill more villagers. As the town center getting targeted down. Does he have the time to make this happen though? Villagers repairing. Baihuing. The Dow getting some good damage done as lightning weapons gets dropped. Rapple doesn't care about it. He says, go for it. However, Gong Gong about to hit, which will mean that these units are going to go for a little bit of a ride here onto the tidal wave. But will that matter? Oh, and it's going to be actually quite close. 1,000 HP. Looks like Gong Gong does manage to come through. There will be the Qinglong here that can drop that big special down onto these units as they get carried off. But still, town center falls. Villagers to go down afterwards. Fey Beast gets dropped down now as the villagers don't have very many places to run to. Going up to the tower there. Najjar gets sniped down. Who comes out in top here? There's a Mythic Age through for Tunison, but TheRapl has got everything here. He's got the Yang Jian in as well. Now, of all the units in the world that can deal with this bad boy, surely the one divine damage heavy Dow swordsman can take them out, but TheRapl does not want to deal with it. He says, all right, I will take the damage that I've done. I will retreat. We'll get back home and we'll regroup. TheRapl here can go Mythic Age himself. He can very easily just go to through, is it Huangdi? You can very easily go through Huangdi here and just get these super units out. As the Tiger Cavalry coming through, Dow Swordsman gets cleaned up into the main base. Townsend are going to be coming, finishing up here for Tunison. This Najjar cleans up a cheeky little pioneer. Going to be looking for the raids now with said Najjar, with said Yang Jian. And there is that Huangdi as the god of choice. Is there a ballet up? I don't think TheRapl's got the ballet. No, he doesn't have one. But the raids you can get off with Najjar are absolutely crazy here. So we'll see if TheRapl can deal with it. He does have lightning weapons. It might not be a terrible idea to actually drop that down onto the Yang Jian here. Like if he turns and fights. Because then he can stun him up and actually like kill him off without losing all too much. But Yang Jian getting some huge damage done onto these Dow swordsmen. Over here, the Najjar to get cleaned up as well. It's Yang Jian to retreat. Yeah, I think that TheRapl really probably could have gotten away with a lightning weapons there. Stunning up the Yang Jian would have killed him, lost nothing, would have been in a great spot to go to the next stage. He's got his ballet up though, so he will be able to head there momentarily. The Tiger Cab gets caught up there by the cheeky little halberdier, that master of weaponry halberdier. You can't get close to them. You will die. Over here we do have a cheeky little Hundun just hanging out, enjoying life. Meanwhile, Yang Jian using the little known forest protection feature that gives, is it 1 HP back a second? 3 HP per second. There you go. As the Hundun will end up going down. But gets Yang Jian out of there for the time being. And then, now the question is going to be, well, how does Tunison deal with a Yinglong? This guy is coming. The dragon is coming. He's got his own dragons, but he needs ranged heroes. He can't use these two big bad boys to take that dragon out. He needs pioneers. He needs Jiang Xia or the Sage dude can kind of help out as well. As the Tiger Cav sweeping through here now for Tunison. Najjar coming up to the top side. TheRapl says, time for a town center. He sees the Najjar and he's going to say, all right, let's snipe that one down. Takes a huge amount of damage, but you don't want to be following the Singed. Never chase the Singed. Never chase the Singed. He's got a fire trail. You don't want to be after that one. Villager differential, slight lead for the TheRapl. Armory check. Tunison with nothing. TheRapl with nearly full bronze. He gets to the Mythic Age. He can drop the dragon down and take all those fire archers down in a second. Meanwhile, Najar up onto the villagers yet again. Some farms here would not go astray. Some Shenong farms would not go astray here. Rappel's got all of his upgrades queued up. Getting himself the important ones first. Imperial Order making everything cheaper. Liju Silk also in. Getting everything with an extra 10% HP. Every unit, an extra 10% HP, I believe. Every military unit. And Rappel is just waiting out his upgrades. He knows how powerful this army becomes when you get everything. And now Wen Zhong to join in as Rappel says, hey, I see you're a superhero. And I raise you my superhero. Who wins in a battle of superheroes? Wen Zhong versus John Wick. But Rappel still needs some more upgrades. Champion infantry waiting on that one. Champion range soldiers. There is also the Yinglong. As Rappel charges forward. He's got the Hundun. This guy does so much damage to build. He's got 50 crush there. As Yang Jian sends off out his little wolf there to heal a little bit. Goes up to 460 HP. Lightning weapons now getting dropped. As Yang Jian, there he is. He gets stunned up. That's what I was talking about. No longer getting damage in. A great little counter to that unit. As now, Tunison's got very little remaining. Wen Zhong coming through, bashing up these units. The Yinglong getting damage done onto everything as Tunison pulls back into this position here. And Rappel now going on to the town center. Why not? Finishing off the ballet. The Yinglong does drop down to 1400 HP there somehow. I'm not sure what was going after it, but it's lost a lot of HP very, very quickly. I guess there's a whole bunch of pioneers here. As Rappel just about to get himself that champion infantry. He's got to be careful here though. He is full send at this moment. And so is Fire Archers cleaning up that front line beautifully, but look at the army coming through. How many military academies? He's got 7. I don't know if that's enough. Time to start flooding buildings all over the place. There's more Dow coming through. We got the axe carts now on the way. These things chop. I was going to say slap, but they chop. These things chop. As they roll in here, ready to take out the Imperial Academy. We are having John Wick III coming through. But it looks like that might get denied here. Or close enough to. Oh, it looks like the axe carts aren't actually taking it down. Well, he will pop out, but I'm not sure it matters anymore. Because Rappel's got nearly infinite eco. His Dows are too strong. Fire Arch is going to be going down. And Tunison, in that moment, will be tapping out. And we, ladies and gentlemen, for Sunday Classic 3, have got a game number 7. Yay! Game number 7. And we'll be moving in onto the map Giza for game number 7. I don't know if you're not entertained. I'm sorry, we're doing our best here. But this has been an absolutely stellar series thus far. Both players playing out of their minds. And competitive Age Mythology is here to stay as we move into game number 7. And we get back into game number 7. All the marbles. Tunison. Gaia. Rappel. Frere. You win this one, you're a winner forever. No one can take that away from you. You lose this one, well, you lost. You lost, kid, and that's all it is. However, I'm here to tell you, I'm excited about this map spawn. This map spawn is really, really fun for this matchup. It's side gold, not back gold. It's forward hunt, not back hunt. And all of a sudden, Tunison has rolled the dice, and he has been dealt a hand that is playable. Moves the chips into the center, and he's going to say, all right, yep, poker. There's a little bit of luck involved, but there is also skill. And will he be able to make it work? He's got to be aggressive here. Finding hunt villages here, locking the RAPL into his main base. Trying to find as many goats as fast as he can with these oracles. Absolutely key. All of these things, super important. The goat scouting here from Tunison. He is basically an Age of Empires 2 wizard with that goat scouting. You don't see people doing it as much in Age of Mythology, but you know, Age of Empires 2 sort of such a big thing. As the hand axe from RAPL coming through, we've got the house coming up on the back here for RAPL. Trying to lock this backside off so there's no way through. The other thing here is, I was talking about it pre-game, but one thing you don't need to worry about here is watchtowers. Unless your opponent's got tons of units and watchtowers. But because you've got the Caladria, you can run in while healing and then burst heal when the units get a bit low. A little bit of micro, but it can be very, very effective. But I'm very interested in how this one's going to go. There is a economic guild up, so Tunison is going double eco ups. No surprises there. It looks like he is dropping a temple, but he's going for an extra citizen, so it's not going to be a 4-minute advance time. It doesn't necessarily need to send this villager over to food either. I see this happening quite a lot with the Gaia builds. You don't have to. You can just drop... Yeah, there we go. You can drop it over to gold or over to wood. You can put a Gaia forest near your food situation as well, so you got less walking time. All about trying to make it as efficient as you possibly can. Because you have no drop site, that is your advantage. Whereas your opponents, they can't do that as much. I mean, Norse basically has no drop site either with the ox carts, but still. There's RAPL wandering around. We will be seeing Ulla. No crazy surprises here. Ulla makes a lot of sense. We are seeing an extra oracle coming through as well for Tunison, which I love. Gonna need a little bit of extra favor here. Definitely don't want to lose the oracle if can be helped. Heroizing and grabbing Pygmalion statue here is going to be quite nice as well, and he is going to be doing that. Definitely don't want the defensive Civ or God, the defending God in this matchup to have that relic. It's also good for you as well, but a good pick up there for Tunison as he's going to be pulling back into his main base. But Ulla looks like it will be popping here. I think Tunison's safe, but he's going to take a little bit more damage as the Oracle is back onto the Lush. Going to be healing back up. Living the dream. As the Berserk wandering down to the bottom side here. As Tunison drops off the first relic. Military barracks. No surprises. And a counter barracks behind this. As this Berserk here takes a couple of shots from the town. So you're not going to be killing off a Pygmalion statue citizen on Gaia Lush with a Berserk anytime soon. 140 HP. As an immediate pickup of Bite of the Shark. Not even building units out at the start. Says, let's just go for that right away. And we'll deal with all that stuff as the Oracle Hero coming up to the top here. Looking for a relic. There is Eye of Horus here. Always nice. There's a little cheeky manor into the middle of the map. And for RAPL, he's got a plan, it looks like, to actually go into Draugr. Valgaldir on the way, whenever he gets the favor, and then Draugr. A little cheeky wall up over to this side, playing a very defensive game. To start this all off, we do have an armory up here as well. But Tunison, massing up some units. And he is going to be ready to poke in here. Village is out onto this position as well with the zebra. Can look to get a little bit of damage over here. Also, thanks so much for your kind words. Mr. Thumb. Appreciate you, my friend. There's the wooden wall for TheRapl. Going up here. But Tunison still has to be careful here. He's got the Caladria, but he's still got to be careful. Turning around, taking the fight. Gets the burst heal off. Pulls back the Draugr. Still doesn't have his upgrade. And we've got a cheeky little Kyra Baluster here. That's going to make things very, very scary for TheRapl. He didn't drop the Asgardian Bastion early here. So he's not going to have access to those Huskarl that he desperately needs right here, right now. Now he drops the Asgardian Bastion in his main base. As the forward axe with good control there from TheRapl keeps him alive. Pulls him back into his main base. Almost drops them. One down to very low HP. As the chickens are going to be ending up here. And Tunison, he's basically just going to walk back here and go, great. Asgardian Hill Fort? Go for it. Put it in your main base. Very, very happy. An Oracle over onto this side. TheRapl does not spot that one. He's going to be scouting out this gold mine. I love this play here from Tunison. If you're ever the aggressor as the Atlantean, don't put your oracles at home. Get them out on the map. Be aggressive with them. Get that line of sight all around your opponent so that they can't get raids onto you or anything like that. It's the house for TheRapl. Still going to stay alive. Tunison pulling back ever so slightly.
Yo.
There's TheRapl wandering forward. Terma coming in, sniping a little bit. Gets one little snipe there. As the Huskarl coming through. It's a bit of a scary position here. There's Shockwave. Oh, not Shockwave. There's at least Carnivora. I thought this was a Rhinos for a second because it is Tunison. But there is going to be a Carnivora that is scary. There are a handful of Hersa here. 5. But so far, Tunison is off to the races. He's got a military advantage. He's getting himself his medium infantry now. The villagers onto literally all wood, basically. He is making throw an axeman, Huskarl, Draugr, and that's kind of it here. Now, Tunison's got to be careful because he's only got 1 or 2 heroes here. That's not really enough. Needs a handful more to be able to deal with those Draugr. As he wanders in yet again, still trying to get little bits of damage done. TheRapl's being incredibly disciplined not to grab watchtowers here. That slows him down unnecessarily. But in grabbing these Draugr, it does also mean that, and that Revenant Draugr technology, that does also mean now that, well, TheRapl's not going to be able to get another hill fort up in the classical age. Little garrison micro there from TheRapl as he's trying his best to just hold. The pokes continuing to come through here from Tunison as he's got his Murmillo on the back. This is going to be a tough fight to win for Tunison, but we'll see if he can manage it. Drops the Carnivora down onto the back line here. Murmillo standing strong as the Kyra Baluster getting charged in on. Terma coming through to snipe down those throwing axemen on the back here, as it looks to me like TheRapl is not able to win this fight just yet. He loses a hefty amount of units here. As Tunison winning that first fight means he's controlled TheRapl into his base completely now. And things are going to be very, very tough moving forward. The one thing that TheRapl gets from that is favor. You can get a couple more Draugr out. And Tunison needs to be aware of this. He's got a lot of favor in the bank. Hero Murmillo are a must. He can get this technology in. He's already got it. He's already got the tech. Time to make Hero Murmillos. Moving forward. A mana coming through to spread that lush. I want to see the manas over here. Over here. Villagers are onto the gold mine already. As Tunison going to make his way over there. Bring a villager. Get a mana down. Get that lush spread. The Oracle going to get shanked down as Tunison not quick enough to pull that one away. Couple of units getting left. Now, no access to a Carnivora in this fight, though, might be a little bit of a difficult situation. There's 4 Revenant Draugr. 5 Revenant Draugr. I don't think Tunison can attack here. He's making Hero Mamillos. Those will be very useful. But can they even get onto those Revenant Draugrs is the question. There's so many Thrown Axemen here as well. But there is a healthy amount of units for Tunison. He actually isn't that far in front here in terms of military resource value. He's got to wait for this Carnivora, I think. No sense in going just yet, but he says, let's go. Time to take the fight. Pulling back with his Murmillo. The boar getting called. As TheRapl knows, he needs to win this fight to stay alive. As the boar approaches in, Tunison pulls back. But the boar is now down. There's 40 favor in the bank for Tunison. He can get himself that upgrade. The Asgardian Bastion upgrade. Turns around getting a couple of shots off there, but got to be careful. As the ball will subside here. TheRapl, he is going for it. Ring Oath on the way. He's queued up A-Gear. On the other side, for Tunison, he's still pumping units. He will have a Carnivora for the next fight. But he needs an answer for 2 things here. Draugr and Thrown Axeman. I think he should be making Hero Turbo potentially here. And now he does decide to do so. Everything getting converted into heroes. Tunison is going to go pedal to the metal and never stop. Does he have an armory in here? He does. He's got his upgrades through. On the other side, TheRapl's also got his upgrades through. There's a huge population advantage. A-Gear is on the way. This could be an option, a very big opportunity for Tunison to get somewhat of a punish here. But the walls coming down is going to be scary because this means he's not going to be able to dive in onto those Draugr. These walls are so important for the TheRapl. As both of the walls end up getting up. Now, just sending heroes forward could be an option to try and break through the wall. I don't think Tunison can break it here. He's got to pull back, which means TheRapl has lived another day. He's almost out of food in his main base. But, does it, like, Tunison here, options. What can he go for? Try and break the longhouse. Units falling to those Draugr so quickly here. As there's the A-Gear in. And Tunison goes, well, I better back off. He's got a little bit more population. He's got a lot more villager population here as he charges forward. The Carnivora gets dropped. And Tempest is dropped down. As Tunison says, no worries. Let's pull back. That's the last of the big god powers gone. And Rhea is on the way. Heavy infantry, bow sword, shaft mine, bronze weapons, bronze armor coming through. The rock giant on the way. Tunison doesn't need to end the game right now. There's this gold mine. We are seeing a hill fort coming down. There's this gold mine over here he can look to starve. He can play for town centers here as well. There's no god powers that are going to allow TheRapl to just break through him at this point. So going into town centers, getting economy going. He's already got an economic advantage. He is Gaia. He's got the shaft mine. He can go for his bow sword. He can go for everything upgrade wise. So the Carnivora, I mean, what's he going to do with this favor is the big question. 81 favor in the bank. Does he make behemoths here to try and break through all of this? How does he kill those Draugr? Contarius heroes is probably the idea that makes the most sense. He's making some Contarius. I like this. Get some Contarius heroes in. Lock this position. Maybe sneak a citizen around to drop a hill fort or something. Wouldn't be a crazy idea. Or a palace. But more Contarius are going to be coming in. I love the idea. As long as he heroizes them. He's got to get the upgrade for them as well. But hero Contarius to kill off those Draugr does make a lot of sense as TheRapl poking his head out. Got to be careful. It might be worth deleting that rock giant. Hill fort coming through. That gets spotted by Tunison. Tunison a little worried here, it's looking like. Really doesn't want to deal with this. As he's charging forward. He does end up deleting the rock giant. No trader. No trader. Where's the behemoth? As a trader does come onto one Draugr. Picking that one off quickly. How many more seconds for Carnivora? 12 seconds. As the army of Tunison clashing into this. He's got to kill off those Draugr. No units building up the hill fort anymore. Population differential is incredibly close. And Tunison does not break through. The Huskarl sniping. Mamilos sniping everything on this retreat. Contarius are in, but I liked the hero Contarius idea. Build like 5. And then you can catch out those Draugr or something. Where's the behemoth? The behemoth is in the main base. The behemoth is in the main base. The village is trying to repair the town center up. Tunison trying to make something sneaky happen here. He caught me out, but not TheRapl. As TheRapl has the goatee in. Takes the behemoth down. There's a palace coming up onto this side. 50 seconds. A long time to wait for that one. As the army coming through here for TheRapl. TheRapl is in a commanding position. He can go for this town center now if he likes. Tunison is on 2 town centers now though. He has an economic lead. He is also Gaia. I mean, there is... Late game Gaia is no joke. 10 oracles, Hecate, Lampedes. That's no joke. Doesn't matter how much HP the Frere player can get onto his units if they're all turned to chickens. There's a couple of goatee getting poked there, but they do manage to get back to safety as the wall's coming up for TheRapl. He knows he's just got to get this all sorted out. He's going Atlas. No. Oh, where are the chickens? Tunison didn't get the memo. And Imploit's also really good. Don't get me wrong. As another hill fort coming up. Portable Rams coming through here for TheRapl as he's ready to start pushing. TheRapl going to break through the military barracks here. As the Contarius moving forward, there is a healthy amount of herdmen here though. 23 to take out those Contarius. The only real way here for Tunison to get value out of these is to almost sack them in to kill villagers. As he's going after the town center. Taking this out could be nice. Villagers turning around. Using that Frere bonus to repair up the town center there. As the army for TheRapl says, hey, if you're not going to fight me, I will just clean you up. 2 portable rams. A whole bunch of Huskarl. And a very strong army here. As the Contarius coming up to the top. Still no hero Contarius here. Is going to make it very tough to break this army. It's 200 pop to 190. There is going to be a trader. A Carnivora. The portable ram's going after the town center. Tunison says, no. I will snipe them with my Contarius quickly, and then we'll deal with your army. Population is still incredibly close, but the value that TheRapl's got in these bloody Draugr is just through the roof. As those Herdmen going down, Hero Contarius getting through, sniping one finally. That's what he needed yonks ago. Getting some good trades over onto this side though, as TheRapl does get split up. Town Center lives. But look at the resources in the bank for TheRapl. He's got heaps. Meanwhile, now we've got a spicy unit coming into the mix. The Heroic Age Fanatic is in, ladies and gentlemen. How much damage have those done indeed? Let's have a quick look. 3,612. There is another trader here. Kill off one could be huge. Carnivora also can get dropped down at this point. He will be throwing it down. Gets killed off very quickly, but a nice distraction. Some hero fanatics getting converted here. Tradering a portable ram there to keep himself going in this game. As the army for Tunison and TheRapl clashing here. The hero fanatics trying to tank up against those thrown axemen. It's just not going to be it. That's why the hero Contarius was the option. Was working before, but doesn't go for it again. So the thrown axemen shooting, scooting away. And it looks to me like TheRapl has done the dash here. He's gotten an advantage. He's moving up to this top gold mine. Another fortress can get dropped down as well. He's got the favor for it at 50 favor for that Asgardian Bastion. But he decides, why do that when I can get more Draugr and just build the hill fort for cost? And now Vidar queued up. TheRapl has the map that he needs. He's got the gold mine. He's going for the town center. What can Tunison do to turn this game around? I don't think TheRapl's going to be letting him. He's playing an incredibly good game. If he pre-queues up this tech, that will seal the deal in a lot of ways. Now Tunison says, all right, time for another town center. Destroyers, however, coming through. It's rare to see destroyers working against Norse, but there's only a handful of units over here to stop this. Never mind. There they come. It might still work. Town center getting repaired up. This allows, while that's going on, it allows Tunison to break out of his stranglehold here. As all the destroyers go down, the palace over here going to be falling. TheRapl to clean up this hill fort on the front for the time being. Town center almost finished for Tunison here. There's a hill fort down, and now what for TheRapl? He's been pushed back ever so slightly, but he's breaking through the palace as well. With Vidar to come through, I think he can almost just right-click the town center, click the god power through those fanatic, and he can cause a lot of problems for Tunison here. There's the Mythic Age in. And the wolf rides right over the army into the town center, blows up. Tunison turns, he has to fight. His army gets disintegrated there. And there is very little left that he can do moving forward. The Fafnir joining in. There's no Rams in. TheRapl says, maybe I can just go. Sends the Fafnir into tank. And that gets traded. He gets traded, the Fafnir. I mean, it's going to be 300 gold over to TheRapl, but it does get some good value here. Oh, actually, you can pull it back, heal it up, go Hecate, get Mythic Rejuvenation. It can live forever. So the Fafnir is getting some good value here, but I think it's going to be falling fairly shortly. A valiant effort from Tunison. But what else can he do at this point? As he does tap out. And TheRapl claims victory in 7 games. Sunday Classic 3 going to TheRapl, the victor for all eternity. Congratulations to him. An incredibly well fought series from both players. Tunison in this specific game was inches away from victory. A couple of different decisions, and I think he might have been able to take it here. Hero Contarius was the play. He kept trying to force it over here. I don't think he needed to. He needed to get the army. He needed the town center advantage. Locking off this town center instead of the gold mine was another option. Full pop. If the Draugr have to push out, then you can circle around and snipe them with Hero Contarius or something like that was definitely the option. I loved him going into the Contarius. We just did not see the Hero Contarius angle here. But nonetheless, a well-played game from TheRapl, a well-played series from both. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the follow button, the subscribe button so you don't miss out on these types of events in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next one.